And it came to pass in those days that a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be registered. This census first took place while Quirinius was governing Syria. So all went to be registered, everyone to his own city. Joseph also went up from Galilee out of the city of Nazareth into Judea to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be registered with Mary, his betrothed wife, who was with child. So it was that while they were there, the days were completed for her to be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling cloths, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn.
You know, when a pastor or a leader of some kind, either digitally by way of media or from a stage in a large auditorium, declares their love for you, says like, remember, we love you. I've always been a little uneasy at those kinds of things, but as I seek to bless you with this little Christmas word, I'm aware of the love that I have for this little reflector community. And so I thought, what would the blessing be that I'd like to kind of pass on to you, to anoint you with at Christmas time? And it's really a two-part blessing. It comes from Mary's story in the Gospel of Luke. First, when Gabriel visits Mary, when the angel visits her, and then second, when she visits Elizabeth sometime later. When Gabriel shows up and visits Mary, one of the first words that he has for her, he says, "Greetings, you who are highly favored." When I was growing up, and maybe you too, particularly in the evangelical church, the idea was that Mary was favored because of her virtue, right? Fitting all the things she was supposed to fit as a young woman at that time, as a teenager at that time. But the story doesn't really lend itself to this. We don't know exactly why Mary is granted God's favor. In fact, she's a bit of a revolutionary. Later in this same chapter, you'll see that she wants to overturn the way things are in the world. Jesus himself, this child that will be born, he favors in his life the wrong kinds of people: tax collectors, prostitutes, sinners, the outcasts, the unclean. And so maybe God's favor to Mary is something different than we've sometimes imagined. Nadia Bolz-Weber helps us with this when she says this is part of the miracle of this story, that Mary accepts that she could be favored by God, that she knows her favor comes from God's grace. So this is my first blessing to you, that you too would know such favor, not earned, not because you have some virtue that deserves it, but because of God's grace. And you know that favor this year, now. The second part of the blessing comes from when Mary visits Elizabeth. I'm really struck by this story, and you might be too, by the idea that here are two women, relatively powerless women at this point in history, and they're taking part in a revolution of all history. History is coming together in their visit, and you can see some of it in the story. But after their interaction, Mary writes a song. It becomes known as the Magnificat. And in Mary's song, she has all of these things that she says about the way things are going to be in the world, or they already are. She says, He, God, He has remembered my low estate. He has scattered all the proud, the prideful. He has shown strength with his arm. He has remembered us. He has filled the hungry with good things. He has sent away the rich. He has remembered. The blessing comes from this, and many ministers would point this out from this text, that Mary uses the words in this song as if things have already happened, and they haven't happened yet. He has, he has, he has. Mary, by God's grace, sees with eyes of faith. And she sees in this declaration that these things have come to pass in the child that will be born. That's the second part of my blessing for you, my prayer. That God would grant you eyes of faith at this time, when we're so much in the middle of things and the good often has not yet come. That you would have eyes of faith to somehow be able to declare that God has already accomplished these things. And if you're not, I kind of have a proviso on this one, because many of us, some of you, will not be able to see with such eyes of faith. You might be tired, weighed down. So if that's the case, this part of the blessing would be this, that somehow you would be able to see with someone else's eyes, that you would know, just know, that there is such faith in the world. I try to carry that faith for you. I often feel blessed with such faith. And so I pray that you would see with the eyes of faith. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Pardon? Non, ne veux pas les billets canadiens, merci. Ah, bonjour. Joyeux Noël.
Merry Christmas to everyone and all the best for 2022.
You're one.
All together.
Okay.
Merry Christmas, everyone! And maligayang Pasko sa inyong lahat ng Filipinos.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas.
God bless everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Hello to all my Reflector Project friends on Christmas Eve. I just want to say 3 things. Melikalikimaka, on behalf of my friends and relatives in Hawaii, Merry Christmas. And I want to say Happy Hogmanay, Happy New Year, drawing on my Celtic background. And Slanchavar, also Celtic, Irish, for cheers. So God bless you all. Have a wonderful Christmas. And all the best in 2022. May it be the best one yet. God bless.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas from the Bells, and I hope you have a happy new year. 2022 is going to be just super.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
You want to do this figgy pudding part?
So bring us some figgy pudding. So bring us some figgy pudding. So bring us some figgy pudding and a cup of good cheer.
Merry Christmas!
Merry
Christmas! Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas from American Todd aboard the Wharfride in beautiful Gig Harbor, Washington. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Wishing everyone a Merry Christmas from Ellen and Murray.
Merry Christmas!
Hello. Hi. How has everyone been doing lately? I've been having a good time at my new job where I work at a dog kennel. I help move around dogs, help feed them, clean the area where they sleep at night, do everything just to make the dogs happy that we are looking after. Especially one little boy that I really love. His name's Chase. I hope everyone has had a good year so far. I know I have, even if sometimes working with the dogs can be a bit painful. But other than that, it's been pretty good. I'm hoping next year can be even better. So I hope you all have a fantastic year and a Merry Christmas. And say hi to Fluffy Dog.
Who is coming on Christmas night with the red, red coat and the beard so white? Eyes that sparkle like a starry night. I know, don't you? Laying a manger, no crib for a bed. The little Lord stars in the bright sky.